1-800-449-8686. This is the Phil Hendry Show.
There are all kinds of parents that take to the internet, that go online, that go out in public, go behind closed doors in meetings with other parents to try and protect kids from sexual predators, people moving into the neighborhood or people preying on children on the internet. One neighborhood in Huntvale, which is up in Oregon, has instituted its own neighborhood watch-style program to keep an eye on any possible sexual predator activity in their neighborhood. They've started a program called Oaks, Operation Assisting Kids Safely. One of the neighbors, one of the people who live in that neighborhood who is involved in that is Vernon Dozier, and is on the line with us from Huntvale, Oregon. Mr. Dozier, how are you? Mr. Dozier, you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Okay, tell us about Oaks, Operation Assisting Kids Safely.
Well, I'd like your audience to get out a pencil and notepad and jot down some of the points that I'll make, because they are very important, and they are, I think, applicable to any neighborhood that we could talk about. We don't rely on the police. We rely upon our own to take care of our own. Of course, we do use the police. Huntvale has a 75 police officer force in a small town of about 60,000, but what we do is try to identify the sexual predator.
You can spot them on your own without any background information?
Well, there's behavior that sexual predators in the neighborhood can use. It's always, I have to tell you, it's always made me a little bit nauseous, these people that have to run off to the police for everything. We take care of our own. We wash our own laundry around here.
Well, how do you spot? Yes, but you do call in the police once you've apprehended one?
Once we've spotted one, yes, we do. But we don't, go running off to a website to try to find out who's moved into the neighborhood. We use our observational skills. And,
well, how do you spot one?
Sexual predator.
Yes, sir.
Well, behavior is important. We have.
Can you give me an example of anybody that may be in the neighborhood now, or that may be in the area now?
Well, we have been watching an individual right now who we suspect could be a sexual predator, and that is an individual who would prey on our children. We are watching one right now.
What about his behavior?
Well, we have him under surveillance. One of the things that struck us about him is that he has a train set in his garage, a small toy train set in his garage, and the kids like to come over. And, you got to ask yourself, what's that all about? Because on Saturdays he opens up the garage door, he has the train set going, the children probably at any given time have 15, 20 kids over there watching that. So, you ask yourself what that's all about.
Well, what maybe he likes trains. Maybe the kids like trains.
Well, maybe, and then again, he might like trains, and then again, maybe he wants to take the pants off those children. Okay, see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Mr. Henry? You can be blissfully ignorant if you want to be, but there are ways of looking at these things, and
so you find the fact that he has a train set suspicious?
I not necessarily a train set, but the fact that he's letting the kids come over and watch. You see. And having a train set, I suppose, it could be suspicious in and of itself, because it is kind of a juvenile pursuit, if you know what I'm talking about. It's not...
like it's a toy.
It's a toy, and I don't know about adult men who... Any adult man that plays with a train, I think has got some issues, and I think that's somebody that, somebody that we need to spot. We also have a gentleman that we've have been informed of on another street. He's single, which is not necessarily a problem, but he teaches elementary school, and that is a red flag for us.
Why is that a red? He's a teacher?
He teaches elementary school, and that is a red flag.
Why is that a red flag?
Well, we believe that there may be something going on there, because we found it unusual for a single man to teach elementary school. You don't see men teaching school until high school or the more important grades. Generally, women teach the lesser grades, and then men, when it counts, I guess. There's nothing against women, but the bigger grades, the men. Now, what is a single guy teaching elementary school? You see, that kind of bothers me a little bit. That's just so we keep him under surveillance. Do you have elementary school children, Mr. Henry?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any children in...
Yeah, I've got a daughter who's in elementary school.
Does she have any male teachers?
No, she does not.
Bingo. See? Bingo right there.
So that's... All right.
We're going to be watching him. I think it's very strange. I wanted to get a little more information on this bird. So I have gone over to the grade school that he teaches at. Other parents will go over to the grade school that he teaches at. And I park near the play area. I want to see him when he comes out and see how he interacts with the kids.
All right, so there's two people right now. One has a train set and the other teaches elementary school. To you, that's suspicious.
It could indicate sexual predatory behavior, yeah.
All right, Vernon Dozier is on with us. He is a neighbor in the Huntsville, Oregon area. Their program, Operation Assisting Kids Safely, try to keep sexual predators out of their neighborhood, and they do it through just watching the people in the neighborhood. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686 is our number. Now, you said that this guy who is teaching elementary school, you find that suspicious.
Yeah, we do.
But you also mentioned that you go over to the elementary school that he teaches at?
We did. I have. I've gone over to the grade school that he teaches at I park near the play. I want to see him when he comes out and interacts with the kids. So I take notes on what each child is wearing, and in case one of them turns up missing.
What are you looking for then? Behavior?
I want clues, visual clues on what will set this pervert off. The little girls on swing sets, are they wearing underwear? Are they not? Sometimes they forget, so you need to keep a catalog on what kind of underwear the kids are wearing, because if there's an adult who's taking their underwear off, because if she was wearing underwear at recess, but by lunchtime they're gone, you got yourself a pedophile, because he might have removed them from that child. So I have probably about 7 or 8 notebooks where I catalog the underwear that the kids are wearing, and because if there is any kind of a change, then it's possible that girl has been touched, and that's when we alert the authorities.
So what's this guy been doing?
The teacher?
Yes, sir.
Well, he's teaching elementary school. That's number one. Number two, he's received regular milk delivery to his home on Monday mornings from the Meadow Creek Dairy over in Lowell.
So this guy is getting milk deliveries, and therefore what?
Therefore, he has no children. So who's he giving the milk to?
I don't know. He could be drinking the milk.
Well, I ask you, sir, do you drink milk, sir?
I don't drink milk, no.
No, you don't. No man drinks milk. This guy's storing up milk. Either he has kids that he's inviting over.
So you're putting two and two together, the fact that he has milk delivery and that he teaches elementary school.
This could be a sexual predator. If he's storing up milk and he can give the milk to the little kids and say, here, you want some milk? And he's teaching elementary school, so he has access to the underwear. I don't know if he has kids in the basement at any given time.
Well, let me ask you one more question. We have to take a break, and our number is 1-800-449-8686. Vernon Dozier, what is this operation called, computer scan?
Computer scan, I'm personally in charge of that. I go on the Internet looking for children or young people that may be tricked into talking to these sexual predators or into meeting them. So I ask the children to meet me instead, so I can get pictures of them to keep them on file in case they go missing.
So you're talking to the kids online in case the parents, in case
these children, I tell the children to watch out for sexual predators. Yes, sir. And
so you're talking to the kids online.
Yes, I am. And then we arrange a meeting, and I can get a picture of the kids.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Here is Donna on the Phil Hendrie Show with Vernon Dozier from Huntsville, Oregon. Donna, go ahead.
Mr. Dozier, on just ideas of who could be suspect for sexual predator is ridiculous. My husband...
well, I mean, we're just trying to protect our kids. I don't know what any higher priority than that.
But you said you don't know about what kind of man would put up train sets. My husband puts up a huge train set. His father did, and his grandfather did, every year for Christmas.
Right. Christmas is one thing, but does he have it up year-round?
It's in the garage, and we have a huge party with children and adults every year. Doesn't make him in any way suspect.
All right, let me ask you something.
My daughter has
You have a train set that you set up in your garage, did you say?
Yes.
And you have a big party around the train set.
Yeah, not around the train set, but...
okay.
Well, I mean, so your husband
is a family tradition.
I think it's strange for a grown man to play with trains, okay? I mean...
Well...
how can you...
Obviously, you haven't gone around through model railroading. It's a big hobby for adults.
Oh, I know it's a big hobby for children.
For adults. These are expensive. What children do you know that could afford these trains?
The parents give it to them for Christmas.
Right, not these kind of trains.
Well,
Also,
I tell you something. I would keep an eye. I'm not saying.
Well, what are you intimating about this woman's husband then? You're saying he's a sexual predator?
Well, I guess I'll take her word for it. I beg your pardon. No, but I mean, so you don't worry about him playing with trains.
Absolutely not. His father did, and his
well, that could just mean the generation.
Him.
That could just mean generation after generation of sexually promiscuous individuals.
Excuse me. My father also was a collector of model railroading trains.
Well, we do know. We do know that this behavior is handed down from generation to generation.
Well.
Okay. So.
What behavior? The train behavior or sexual predators?
Absurd.
Sexual predators do go from generation to generation.
So what are you saying about this lady's wife and this lady's husband and, on top of that, her father?
And my stepfather.
I'm asking her. You don't see any weird behavior?
Absolutely not. That is absurd.
They're not trying to look up your dress or anything. I mean,
oh my God.
Looking up her dress. Well, first of all, her husband probably does try to look up her dress since it's her husband.
Does your husband try to get sexual with you?
No.
Your husband does not try to get sexual with you.
Because of the trains?
So what I'm hearing here is that you have a husband that you're married to, and he doesn't try to get sexual with you. He may be trying to get sexual with someone else. I'm not saying that he is.
No. Now you just.
Well, no, wait a minute.
You know what? I'm not even going to stay on the phone with you.
No, she didn't say that. She said.
I asked if her husband got sexual with her, and she said no, which leads me to believe, well, if he's not doing it with his own wife, then who's he doing it with? See, that's the thing you got to think about. What we do with our neighborhood watch program is we look at guys with train sets, guys who say, "Let's go fly a model airplane." Oh boy, that tightens my jaws when I hear about guys who've got radio controlled cars too.
Well, you know what? There's an area here you're getting into now, Mr. Dozier, where you're saying that guys who are grown men who are involved in model airplanes, cars, or trains are somehow sexual predators because they're toys. And the lady indicated I mean, just because the guy's got a train set in his garage doesn't mean he's, how did you put it, looking up little girls' dresses. 1-800-449-8686. Also, we have the point that Mr. Dozier was making that his neighborhood watch group finds it suspicious that a man teaches elementary school. Why would a guy want to be around that many little kids? 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show.
Here's Phil Hendrie, 1-800-449-8686.
With me is Vernon Dozier. He is a member of Operation Assisting Kids Safely, which is a neighborhood watch group in Huntvale, Oregon, trying to keep sexual predators out of their neighborhood. And you mentioned that you are following this guy who teaches elementary school, who you guys suspect may be a sexual predator. You follow him to the school. You take notes on the little girls on the swing set?
We do, Phil. I do. I've taken over part of that operation myself because we want to make sure that these little girls are not being touched. And I've got an extensive...
Well, you said you have like 8 or 9 notebooks full of notations on what color the kids' underwear is?
It's very important to note that the children, if somebody's taken their underwear off, how do you know unless you know what underwear the child was wearing, or if they're taking it off and putting it back on? So I'm doing it surreptitiously. I don't want to scare the children. I will sit off of the playground area near the swing set. And when the little girls are swinging, you can generally see which kind of underwear that they're wearing and things like that. I don't know the nature of your question.
Well, all right. 1-800-449-8686. Here is Jennifer on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello? Jennifer? Jennifer, you there?
Yes, hello.
Go ahead, ma'am. You're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Dozier, while
Yes.
I respect your intentions, if they are what you say they are, I'm
Thank
more
you.
suspicious of you who is story of little girls' panties than I am of a man who teaches elementary school.
I beg your pardon?
I'm more suspicious of you taking inventory of children's underwear than I am of a man teaching elementary school.
I don't. All I can tell you is you got a man teaching elementary school, which I
You know
find
what? In our
very
parent
suspicious.
teachers, in our PTO, we have complaints from mothers and fathers alike that we have no males in our school teaching the kids.
Well,
They
that's very
actually
weird.
want male teachers.
Well, that's
and I
pretty
had
Why?
four
Why?
male
When those are
teachers.
the guys that are molesting children. Why would you want that?
Well, wait a minute. Are you going to indict every
Who
man?
said all male teachers are molesting little children?
Well, I'm not saying that, but don't you think it's? I mean, we got this guy. He lives 2 blocks over, and he lives alone, and then he goes to the school and teaches little kids. I mean,
Have you
doesn't
asked him what got him started teaching? Perhaps he just started an elementary job because that was the only one available, and he ended up
said
liking
something.
it.
Well, he said the usual thing. He said something like, "It's always been my dream to teach." Right.
Have you ever
I
taught
mean-
school, sir?
Have I ever done what, ma'am?
Have you ever taught school, any age group?
No, ma'am. I think that's a job that women do very well, but I don't do that.
Well,
I don't
high
do
school
that, no.
kids are very hard to teach.
The other thing that he
junior
does
high
is-
kids are very hard to teach.
Well,
and
that's
if
why you
want to
generally
teach,
have men. You generally have men teaching high school students.
Well, that's the second time you've said that men should teach at high school and college level and women should teach the elementary school level.
I believe that, yes, because I think that the men are. I think the women are better with the kids than the men are.
Well, one of my college professors locked a girl up in his closet and molested her for 2 weeks before she ran away from him. So, you know,
Well,
either
that's
it's an
college.
all
See,
or
now
nothing
that's college.
thing.
Yeah, but that's college. See, and you don't know
They're
whether
no
she
more
had a crush on him.
susceptible.
But
I
she-
had 4 male teachers before I was in the or while I was in the fourth
but
grade
wait
and
a second.
under.
But that you don't know whether that girl had a crush on that teacher or what was going on between the two of them. All right. So you.
He locked her up in a closet and molested her.
Tied
What do you
her
mean
up
had a-
to the bar in the closet.
What do you mean she had a crush on him?
Because a lot of these college girls get a crush on their professors.
Trust me.
Is all I'm
If you
saying,
saw
you know,
this man,
so-
you would know that nobody had a
I
crush
just
on
think it's
him.
very suspicious. That's all.
All right, thank you for your call, ma'am. 1-800-449-8686. Vernon Dozier from Operation Assist Kids Safely, and they're trying to keep sexual predators out of their neighborhood. He sees a guy playing with a train and another guy that teaches elementary school, and he's following them and taking notes on them. Here's Roy on the Phil Hendry Show. Roy?
Hi, how you doing?
Good, sir.
My comment is, it seems to me I would have a lot more to worry about a guy sitting in a car looking up my daughter's skirt or anyone else's daughter's skirt than I would of somebody getting a delivery of milk or teaching school. Or,
Well, wait. I mean,
or,
how do you keep inventory whether these children are going to be safe or not?
it's not your job to keep track of the child's underwear.
Well, this
If
is
the
part
child's
of
coming
our-
home and parents say, "Excuse me, there's no underwear on my child,"
Oh,
there's
you're
the problem.
So you want to wait until the child gets home, and then maybe when it's too late.
No, but
Why
I
not?
sure wouldn't want a stranger outside looking up my daughter's skirt to see whether or not she's got underwear
Well, who
and possibly taking notes, 8 or 9 notebooks. Excuse me, that's very bizarre behavior.
I have.
You said you've got 9 notebooks cataloging the colors of little girls' panties. Is that right?
Mr. Henry, and to the gentleman calling in, unless we can catalog, you know the FBI takes DNA.
No, I know the FBI takes DNA and identifying it. You got 9 notebooks filled with the colors of girls' panties.
Because
He seems to have a very good method of he's got it down to a science of, if you park next to the swing set, you can get a good glimpse. And that seems very bizarre to me.
the catalog, sir, that I'm putting together, the kids I meet on the internet, has become very helpful. I've only had them disrobe enough so I can get a picture of moles or anything for identification.
And that's another thing.
And he's taking pictures as well.
Well, sir, how do we keep these children safe? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's by tracking people that get deliveries of milk. I think it'd be more of watching for people that sit outside school grounds.
What's a single man doing getting a milk delivery?
Maybe he likes to drink milk.
Exactly.
Men
Maybe he
don't
likes
drink.
milk.
There are
My
no
brother-in-law
men.
drinks a lot of milk.
Your
He
brother,
loves
but you
milk.
don't. But you don't. See, and that's the
I
whole
do
point.
like milk. I don't prefer it as a drink, but I do like
Okay,
milk.
That's what I'm saying. See, I wouldn't
But,
mind.
you
I
know,
wouldn't
are you
mind.
going to say also because I ride a bicycle it makes me a child molester because a bike is considered a toy?
I'd like to know what you're doing with the seed.
All right. 1-800-449-8686. We'll be right back with Vernon Dozier on the Phil Hendry Show.
1-800-449-8686. And now, Phil Hendry.
I'm with Vernon Dozier. He's a member of a Huntvale, Oregon neighborhood that has a special watch program. They try to see if there's sexual predators moving into the neighborhood. You guys don't use any police information. You follow your own instincts on this, and then you go to the police.
Well, we do, Mr. Henry, for a number of reasons. First of all, we do believe that we are, as members of this neighborhood and as parents, that we are better equipped at identifying a sexual predator. And
well, now, let's get back to, and then I'll take some phone calls, this idea that you are taking notes.
Don't hit that too heavy, Mr.
No, but you're identifying the color of panties of little girls so that in case a predator takes them off, they'll know that they've been taken off?
What I do is I simply take notes of what color the panties are, and I meet the kids on the internet. I get pictures of them. I ask the children to just keep it between us, don't tell their parents, because I don't want to worry the parents. And I will study the stuff after I get home at night. I'll take a shower and pull some of the catalogs down, and I'll page through them and take notes at the end of each day as to what color panties. Sometimes it is a confusing job. It is a thankless job. It is a tragically heartbreaking job because you're afraid one of these children may be molested. So I care an awful lot about this neighborhood, sir. And if I have to sit outside of playgrounds and look at little girls on swing sets and all the other things that people make fun of me for or find fault with me for, then I'll do it because I do love this neighborhood so very much.
And you take the books down?
I'm beginning to get offended by your line of...
I just want to know, you take the books down after you take a shower and page through them?
I study and make notes at night, yes, sir.
1-800-449-8686. Here is Sherry.
But sometimes I pour myself a drink or something.
Sherry?
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am. You're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Dozier, I'd like to address a couple of comments to you and then a couple of questions.
Certainly, ma'am.
I am a 20-year veteran public school teacher. And in that length of time, I have known a good number of male elementary school teachers. First of all, let me say that I think
that doesn't bother you?
Not a bit in the world, and I'll get to that point in just a minute.
Well, that's strange.
I'd like to say, first of all, that I am offended and outraged that with, and obviously you may have some educational background, you have not made that clear yet, that you would make a blanket generalization about all male elementary school teachers. That's my first point.
Well, I just think it's a little oddball, that's all. I mean, I'm not a teacher. You are, but don't you think it's oddball?
I don't think it's one bit of an oddball.
Oddball?
In fact, I think
that a male teacher...
No, there's nothing against men teaching, but what's a guy doing teaching third grade?
I'll tell you.
That's pretty out there.
Okay, let me finish my thought, and then I will certainly want to hear your comments.
It just doesn't sound like a guy that I'd want to have a drink with. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll tell you this. I am grateful in the public school system. I am from a...
Do you know about train sets, ma'am? You're an educator. You know about train sets, right? Men who play with trains.
Who plays with trains?
Men. Do you know about this?
Yes,
right.
In fact.
And doesn't this worry you?
Not a bit in the world. And let me get back.
So
to my
they have a
point
train set. All these little kids gather around the train set, and not once do you think somebody's panties are going to come off, or some child is.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm just asked. She's a teacher.
And I really would like to make my comment here.
Okay.
Out of all of the male elementary school teachers I have known, they have gone into public school teaching for one reason, and that is because they wanted to be a positive influence in the life of young children.
And Sherry, if I could interrupt for a minute.
This is
Phil Hendry. I wanted to interrupt to make this point to Mr. Dozier. That's exactly what this teacher said. It was his dream to be a teacher.
Oh, they all say that. It's baloney. That's just their way of getting into the school system so they can get a peek up someone's skirt. Now, this particular so-called teacher jogs every Saturday morning in the park. The park where those little girls play. What's that tell you? Yeah, see, neither one of you have an answer for that.
No,
the guy goes jogging in a park. He goes jogging in a park.
Those kids play there.
When?
During the week.
So they're not even there when he's jogging.
Mr. Dozier, I'd like to ask you a question. Are there any kind of organizations like the National PTA or any of the children advocacy groups that are supportive of your program?
PTA. What is
Parent-Teacher Association?
Oh, I didn't know. No, yeah,
You're
sure.
not familiar with the National
If they're
Parent
not, they
Teachers
ought to be.
Association?
Well, I'm not familiar with who?
You're not familiar with the National Parent and Teachers Association? It's the largest public school parent organization in the country.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just wondering if you were familiar with that.
Okay, Sherry, thank you very much for your comments. They're well considered, and you haven't answered too many questions here, Mr. Dozier.
Can we get back on track here? I'm talking about protecting our children, and you guys are making me out to be some kind of a freak. I think that is patently unfair.
Well, you're talking about...
I'm talking about protecting our children, Mr. Henry. Let's get it back on track, okay? And quit trying to make me out to be some kind of a freak with feet.
1-800-449-8686. Here is Tori on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
No, my name is Ken. I have a little 9-year-old daughter named Tori. I want to tell you,
I'm sorry, sir.
Dozier something right now. If I even thought he was at my daughter's playground looking up her skirt, I would go take care of business.
Now, wait a second.
This guy's a freak, man.
Wait a minute.
You don't do things like that with children. You are the pedophile.
How can you call me that? I'm trying to protect the kid from being a pedophile.
You're not protecting anything. You're the one looking up the skirts, not...
Well, how do you identify what color her underwear is?
The police, the teachers are trained. This gentleman that's a teacher in whatever grade he's in elementary school.
Third grade.
You know, third grade, I applaud the man. He got a college education, is teaching. He's going to make good. He's probably...
Well, let me ask you something. What about these guys
maybe he wants to move up.
What about these guys
What
about these guys that play with trains?
That doesn't mean a damn thing.
The hell it doesn't. They're looking at them going in and out of the tunnel. That doesn't mean anything.
You know, only in your mind.
You are a freak. You know that?
Only in your mind.
If I even thought you were in my neighborhood, taking notes on our kids.
All right, let me ask you something.
If you don't want me, taking notes on my kids, especially their underwear of all things.
Well, wait a minute. All right.
I would take care of business.
No, wait a minute.
Not only would I report you, I would probably get the other fathers together.
Wait a second.
And I would take care of business.
No, wait a minute. Who's going to keep track of your daughter's panties if I don't? If you're the kind of guy that is going to be...
What do you mean?
There might not be anybody keeping track of my daughter's panties.
Well, how do you know whether somebody took them off or not?
Wait.
Tell me she's 9 years old, almost 10. She can probably tell me whether or not she's doing something like that. We have a pretty good relationship as far as communication goes. And if I even thought, if I even thought you were there taking notes, especially
Tori, what is your name, Ken?
My name's Ken, and my daughter's name's Tori.
I bought probably the finest pair of naval binoculars that you can buy.
Yeah, you are a freak.
You bought what?
I bought
You're a freak. Binoculars. You're a freak.
They're Navy issue binoculars.
So you can see what?
So in other words, I'm supposed to sit in the car across the street and be able to make out their panties from there. Is that what both of you? No, I want to know. Are both of you guys?
Okay, you're going to get into trouble.
Somebody needs to call the police in this guy's town and have them do the books and look at the internet site.
Oh, see now you guys are.
This guy needs to be reported, not.
Wait, now so you're making me out to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
you're the bad guy.
You got Navy issue binoculars so you can see up their skirt.
So I can see what color the flowers are in the panties, so I can make notes.
Tell you what, buddy, you come to my neighborhood, and I'll take care of business.
Oh, do you need somebody to do that work in your neighborhood? All right.
No, I think what he means is.
You come to my neighborhood and do that, and I will take care of business. You won't make it out of my neighborhood.
What do you mean you'll take care of business?
He's going to kick your ass.
Exactly.
Oh, so you've made me the bad guy simply because I want to look up some kid's dress.
You look up little girl skirts. You're ridiculous.
Look, Gomer.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken, for your call. I think how much clearer. Let me ask you a question, sir. Okay, what grades are your kids in?
I don't have any kids.
You don't have any kids?
No.
Well, you called yourself a parent.
I said me and the parents.
So this is something that you and your wife are involved in?
I never said that I was married, sir.
You're not married and you don't have any kids?
I never said any of that. I don't know where you got the idea that I'm married. I have a custodial job at the supermarket.
Well, do you live in this neighborhood you're talking about?
I live near it. I have a custodial job and I have a basement apartment in the supermarket.
You live in the basement of a supermarket with no kids and no wife. You're parked out in front of a school with Navy-issue binoculars, looking up the girl's skirt and making notations on what color panties they are, and you're part of a neighborhood watch organization?
You know, Mr. Henry, I have been insulted enough.
No, is that what you are, in an organization?
Yes.
How many members do you have?
So far, I'm the only one, but I'm trying to get...
Oh, it's an organization of one. One guy.
You've made me out to be the bad guy here. I've never been arrested for a crime.
Well, you're probably about to be. Somebody sees you out in front of a school with Navy-issue binoculars and notebook after notebook filled with notations. Larry, you're on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello.
Yes.
Go ahead, Larry.
Yes, this is Larry. You're talking about oddballs. This guy is an oddball. He's going to take pictures of little girls painting, and then
Larry,
he's going
do you play with those model airplanes?
Listen, sir, and then you're going to tell little kids, keep it between you and them.
Well, we don't want to worry their parents.
You have binoculars.
And that's another thing, yeah, keeping it between me and you.
And keeping it between you and the little kids. You are the pervert. You're the one that needs to be arrested. And what school are you doing this at?
The school that I'm doing it at?
Yes.
I can't say.
Okay, but you're the one that needs to be arrested.
Why
sir.
Can't you?
Because you guys will have me arrested.
Oh,
you
whoa.
need to be arrested. You're single, and you say you live in the basement, but you want to talk about the school teachers who's making a positive impact and being mentors and role models.
Boy, no
for these
kidding,
kids.
man. Oh, and you guys with your neighborhood watch
you
baloney.
You are a pervert, sir, and you need to be arrested.
Just because I live in the basement of a supermarket. Thanks a lot.
You pervert.
Who? That guy that just called? I thought he sounded...
No, you, not the guy that just called.
Positive impact. The guy drinks milk.
Thanks a lot. 1-800-449-8686, The Phil Hendry Show.
The Phil Hendry Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
Still got that copy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in Spanish to give away sometime during the show. And the preceding bit featuring the character Vernon Dozier, that was done by me. The voice of Vernon Dozier was performed by me, and the people that called in were people understandably concerned about a guy that parks outside of grammar schools looking up the dresses of little girls on swing sets because he says he needs to catalog what color of panties they're wearing in case there's a sexual predator in the neighborhood. Okay? Now that's comedy. 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686, the number to our show. And if you'd like to buy our Best of the Phil Hendry Show CD, 2001, Bring It. This is the best of our show from the year 2001. It's called Bring It. You can dial 877-616-7445 to order the best of the year 2001. But for now, all we have to give you is this Texas Chainsaw Massacre in Spanish. This is one. I don't know. Why the hell anybody would want this unless you speak Spanish? Why do you want to watch a movie that's dubbed no matter what language you speak? And I don't know whether you want to watch it dubbed or whether you want to watch it subtitled or... I don't know, man. That's depressing when I think about it. It's depressing when I think of all the art house movies that my wife is going to drag me to this year. And we happen to have one of them art house things up the street from my house. We have a little art house movie theater up the street from my house. Every movie that's in there I never heard of. Pee-wee's Big Adventure in French is a riot? How do you know? I have it. Oh, you have it. See, look at this. Taylor's got Pee-wee's Big Adventure in French. And he says it's a riot. All right, 1-800-449-8686. Jeff, hi, you're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Phil Hendry, great show. Nice to talk to you.
How are you?
In the service myself with the 19th Special Forces Unit.
You're a Special Forces guy? You're a Special Forces guy?
Yes, sir.
Now, what does that mean exactly?
I'm actually in the support battalion. We support all the Green Berets, all the special operations.
Now, what are you? Are you a Green Beret? Are you a Army Ranger? What are you?
No, sir. I'm in the Army Infantry. I'm also a reconnaissance rigger. I'm a rigger for the do parachutes and things like this for the guys that are jumping out of planes. I also am airborne myself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Anyways, we've got a few guys in my unit. You made a comment earlier about the movie Black Hawk Down.
Right.
Okay, we've got a few guys in my unit that were actually there in Somalia when that happened. You made a comment as to people are kind of ripping on that movie and they don't think that it's going to go anywhere because of the incident of 9/11. I'd like to tell everybody that, you know, if they're going to hold their kids back or they're going to hold themselves from seeing that show, they are not very patriotic.
Oh, come on.
That show is...
I mean, the movie is obviously a wonderful testament to the book that was written, which is obviously the superior instrument. The book Black Hawk Down is something that people should immerse themselves in. Yeah. I don't know that somebody not going to see Black Hawk Down, the movie, is not a patriot. The reason why I said what I said is because they're very frazzled and they're very shell-shocked from 9/11. I don't know whether it's true or not, but the theory is that people are so shell-shocked from 9/11 that they need some lighter entertainment than another really searing war movie along the lines of a Saving Private Ryan, which I understand this film is every bit as violent as Saving Private Ryan. And as you know, Black Hawk Down tells a really tough story about Americans being killed, one of them being dragged through the streets of Mogadishu. You know, it was not what we would call one of the great victories in the military history of the United States.
No, I strongly agree with you there. The fact is, though, that it's a true story.
Yeah.
It's something that the soldiers deal with every day in the special operations field. And this is the special ops war that's going on right now.
Well, that's a good point. And if people want to see what it is that those guys are dealing with, they should go see the movie. But what are you going to do with people, man? You know, what are you going to do? You know, Snow Dog will probably be number one. I don't know, you know. I mean, I go see movies. I say, you got to go see this movie. I'll sit here in the show and I'll say, you got to see it. So it's so brilliantly done, and it'll be a stinker. It'll stiff out. Who knows what people want to see? What's number one right now? Anybody got any idea what the number one film is right now? Lord of the Rings. There you go, Jeff. What do you think of that? Let's go see a bunch of dwarfs and hobbits, you know. But I'll go see it. I'm going to take my kids to see it.
And I think that that's great. I think everybody should.
Yeah.
That you know is interested in the special ops field. I mean, we put ourselves on the line every day, and it's just a matter of you know, your opinion. If you don't feel that that's, I don't know.
No, it's the best way. It's the new warfare. It's the new warfare. It's the new battalion-size, quick strike style of war that we are fighting now. It's perhaps superior to sending 50 or 100,000 guys into a theater. We use air support, we use air power, and then we use these battalion-size strike forces, and it seems like a much better way to fight a war. It certainly saves a lot more lives. And you're right, this is the way things are going right now. And if you want to know exactly what that is that's going on in Afghanistan, if you want to know exactly what kind of soldiers those are, if you want to know exactly how good they are, if you want to know exactly how they coordinate tactically and operationally, what they do, then yes, you should go see Black Hawk Down. It's informative, and it's a movie that'll tell you and inform you about what is happening right now in Afghanistan. Or if you don't, it means you don't give a crap and you're scum. Okay? Thank you very much. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show.